Right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Sorry, set up the microphone. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Inshallah, we will get started with the homework for lesson 17. And we will pause for Salat al-Maghrib wal-Isha and then we'll come back after the prayer. Before we begin, are there any questions on material that we had? Okay, so let's get right to the exercises. And it's page 104 in the textbook. Read and translate. Now, we'll take these a little bit slower than we have some of the exercises in the past, because now we're getting to sentences that are compound sentences. They have nouns, verbs, and in some cases, the verbs themselves have prefixes, suffixes. So you have to be able to separate the different parts that go into a sentence. So for the first one, why don't we have a volunteer help us? Sure. قال الله. Right, so that's a sentence right there. قال الله. Translate that part. So if you do it by part, you get
God said.
God said. And then everything that comes after it is what God said.
Yes. Oh no. Yes.
The verb is
Yes.
وسع يسع. Right, so وسع كرسيه السماوات, that's this verb.
Yes.
And the present tense is يسع. And then you add ni. So you'll still say يسعني. يسعني.
Samai. Wala ardi.
So stop there. لا يسعني سمائي ولا أرضي. What does that mean?
So he said,
Now, وسع يسع means to encompass,
right?
to contain.
So, my earth and my skies and my earth are not contained or
Do not contain me.
do not contain.
So basically, my sky, سمائي, my sky, ولا أرضي, nor my earth, contains me.
Oh, contains.
To contain me meaning to encompass me, to be big enough for me. So my heavens and earth are too small for me. They're not big enough for me, they don't have room for me, they don't encompass me. And then after that, wa. So it's the same verb, wasi'a plus ni. It's wasi'a plus ni. Wa wasi'ani. Wa wasi'ani.
Oh, so that's past tense.
Past tense. So what is it that does encompass God? This is the subject. Qalbu.
Qalbu. Okay, yeah. Qalbu Abdul Mu'min.
Yeah. Abdi
Abdul Mu'min.
Abdul Mu'min.
So
And
the heart of a believing servant of God contains.
yeah, so the heart of my servant who is believing, or my believing servant, contains me. Okay, good. Who wants to take a look at the second one?
Quick question on that first one.
Sure.
Is that wad after wala? Does that mean like a but?
No, wala ardi, when there is a negative sentence, sometimes there is a law that's repeated. So
Oh
you
no, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. I meant, is there really like a but in between the first two sentences? Like, would you say God said, "The sky and my sky and my earth do not contain me, but the heart of a believing servant."
you could translate it as but the heart of a believing servant does encompass me, or while the heart of a believing servant.
There's nothing in here that says but or while, right?
No, there's
Kind of
nothing.
just implied.
There's nothing that directly says it, but that while conveys the meaning
Oh,
of.
before was that while.
Yeah, it conveys the meaning that
Oh, that's the while.
this is while literally is just a conjunction. It means that does not happen and this does, but it can sometimes convey the meaning of while this is the
This is
case.
a while like an and to connect to.
It's connecting two sentences, and in this case, literally, it's giving the meaning of and. The skies and the earth do not encompass God, and the heart of a believing servant does encompass God. But you can translate it as while or but the heart of the believing servant encompasses God. And in some cases, the while, like we had in earlier lessons, it can give the meaning of while. So it's the heart.
Two contradicting statements.
Yeah, that's a usage that's accepted in Arabic. So number 2. Yeah, so this first sentence, this first word, you might think it's sayri, but it's not sayri. It's sa yara. Yara is a verb, and sa is a prefix meaning future. So Sayarallahu, God will see. And then what will it be? Amalakum. God will see your actions. It can be plural or singular. A'malakum would mean your actions, your deeds. Amalakum is your acting. Amal is also a masdar. Your body of work, basically. Yeah, so for example, if I say qira'ah, it refers to recitation of the Quran. And it might be many different verses that I'm reciting, but altogether it is qira'ah. So say in the same way, I might do many different things, and altogether what I'm doing is my amal. That is my action. So amal can mean two things. It can mean an individual action that is done, or it can mean the act of doing. وَرَسُولُهُ. So notice how the atf works. سَيَرَاللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ. Now, you might wonder whether it's Rasuluhu, Rasulihi, Rasulahu. And how do you determine which one it is? You have to see what is it joining to. Is the Prophet what is going to be seen? If I say Rasulahu, it means God will see your actions and God will see His Prophet. Because then it would be connected to this.
And His Prophet's actions, right? No.
That's what it would mean is God will see your action and God will see His Prophet. But that's not what we mean. What we mean is that God and His Prophet will see your actions. So it's not connected to amalakum, it's connected to Sayarallahu amalakum wa rasuluhu. God and His Prophet will see your action. it might be easier for us to understand it if the order had been Sayarallahu wa Rasuluhu amalakum. In Arabic, the order can be changed because the Arab will make it clear whether Rasuluhu is being seen or whether it's the fa'il who is seeing. Rasuluhu is seeing the action. Okay. وَيَرَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا. Those who are oppressed will see or do see. إِذْ يَرَوْنَ الْعَذَابَ. When they see the punishment, or when they will see the punishment. And I put that in parentheses because that's sort of a parenthetical phrase. They will see at this time, what will they see? أن القوة لله. أن القوة لله. So سيرى الذين ظلموا أن القوة لله. Those who oppressed will see that the power is God's. Now, when will they see? إِذْ يَرَوْنَ الْعَذَابَ. That phrase, إِذْ يَرَوْنَ الْعَذَابَ, is going back to yara. They will see when they see the punishment that the power is God. This whole phrase, أَنَّ الْقُوَّةَ لِلَّهِ, is the object of yara. They will see the power being God, being God's. Okay, number 3. If there's no volunteer, I'll do number 3. وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ. This is a past tense verb. وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ. Many of the people of the book would have wished or would have liked لو يردونكم من بعد إيمانكم كفارا. So لو يردونكم, if they could return you or take you back, يردونكم, they could turn you back after your iman. They could turn you back into kuffar, unbelievers.
So if this is many from among the people who wished that you would turn back,
wished that they could turn you back. يَرُدُّونَكُمْ. يَرُدُّونَ, the fa'il is كَثِيرٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ. They're turning you.
They would turn you back.
And kum is the believers. So they wish if they could turn you back. Number 4. This is not ana, but inna. And how do we know it's inna? Because it's followed by nahnu narithu. Narithu. That's from waritha yarithu narithu al-arda. So verily we inherit or will inherit the earth. وَمَنْ عَلَيْهَا. Close. And who is on it? Or what is on it?
That's man, not min.
Man alayha. So, yeah. It's man. We will inherit the earth and those on it.
How do you inherit those who are on it? What does that mean?
those on it, it could mean that the people will be inherited by the righteous in the sense that authority and power, political power, authority will be inherited by the righteous. Or it could be personifying everything that exists. So it could refer to animals and all of creation being personified. Man is sometimes used figuratively in the Quran to personify non-human beings. So it could be either one. This is not a direct quote from the Quran, but it's based on a Quranic verse. So that kind of usage is there in the Quran, but this is not a direct quote from the Quran. So إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَرِثُ الْأَرْضَ وَمَنْ عَلَيْهَا وَقَالَ اللَّهُ, and God said, and how will you read that next word? إِنَّ الْأَرْضَ إِنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا. Right, so we have yarithu, and then there's a suffix ha. عبادي الصالحون. Right. God said, indeed, the earth, yarithuha ibadi, my servants who are righteous shall inherit ha, it, which refers back to the earth. So is the structure clear? Verily the earth shall inherit it, my righteous servants. Another way to say that same sentence is to say, Inna ibadiya salihina yarithuna al-arda. Let me rewrite that. So if I want to say Inna al-arda yarithuha ibadiya salihun, correct? You can also say Inna ibadi as-salihina yarithuna al-ard. And that means the same things. It's the same thing. So in here the subject is al-ard, the ism of inna, and yarithuha ibadiya as-salihuna is the khabar of inna. In this case, ibadiya as-salihin is the ism of inna, that's why it's salihin and not salihun. That's the ism of inna. And then yarithuna al-ard is the khabar. Yes, it will still be arda. But do you see why it's salihin? Because the ism of inna, right? Inna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Inna Aliyan Waliyullah. Inna Ibadiyas Salihina. Well, no, the ibadi doesn't change. Ibadi will always be ibadi. No, that fatha is just to make it easy to pronounce.
But it's there.
It doesn't have anything to do with the i'rab. The word is inna ibadi. That doesn't change. But as-salihina will become mansub. And yarithuna al-arda is the khabar.
In the original version, so it's still ibadiyas salihin?
It's still ibadiyas salihun in the original version, which is in the Quran. But that fatha is just for ease of pronunciation.
Okay.
So
you can't say ibadiyas salihun.
You can't say ibadiyas salihun. It will always be ibadis salihun or ibadiyas salihun. The point is that you can rearrange it. The meaning is substantially the same. But in this case, the subject is the earth. Verily the earth, my righteous servants shall inherit it. In this case, the subject is the servants. Verily my servants who are righteous shall inherit the earth. The emphasis is a little different. No, verily the earth, it shall be inherited by my righteous servants. Inherited. Or, verily my righteous servants shall inherit the earth. The meaning is largely the same, but just the emphasis is different. We're going to have to close there because it's time for prayer. But inshallah we will resume right after the prayer.
It wouldn't be inherited in the first thing because it's not past. It would just be verily the earth my righteous servants working.